Instagram.
Ew. I know.
What up, everybody?
Yes, sir. What's up, folks?
We'll be alright. Peace. What's going on, y'all? Alright.
Something's not.
I stopped the joint on there. It'll be alright.
You stopped the music?
You'll see. It's gonna be fine. Watch. It's gonna catch up and then check the joint. Yeah, see what I'm saying?
I don't even know.
It's alright.
I don't know what you're doing right now.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Sherm ain't got no poker face. None. Like,
things aren't happening the way that they normally do.
It's like I had it
on my phone.
I had it, sir. It was like, trust me, son. You know what I mean? Peace, y'all. What's going on? Happy Sunday. Welcome to Substantial Sundays. I am Substantial. Got my brothers with me. We got Sherm The Barber. We got J Cash. J Cash got all the beverages and the ice and
the fuckery over there.
Right.
Yeah, we mixing.
Right.
It'll be that type of day.
Yeah, you know, my fingers will be here so that they will be partaking. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Welcome. I'm trying to figure out why we don't hear tunes here though. Something
I told you.
Now, that's what he was saying.
Thank you. I'm sitting there. I knew I wasn't tripping. I know I wasn't tripping. I'm like, yo, it's not on my phone. It's like, come on. See, I just be trying to
Now it's Substantial Sundays. You know what I mean? There you go.
You see, Johnny was like, oh, I was ready for the opening song. I'm like, okay,
I know.
maybe me and Johnny are tripping.
I paused it because I was
talking about, I got this, son. What do you have again?
The video work, mic working. We ain't got to worry about, like, you know, I'm just trying.
Cash is not doubling as a bartender. He is a bartender.
Yeah, you know.
This is his one of his other talents.
One of my side hustles, folks.
Right.
If you ever need somebody, let me help.
Right.
No, I'm serious. I do private,
like no joke.
private parties. So, hey,
Yeah, man.
I'll let it bro.
It's a cat.
I'm going for your hat.
Hey, I remember that last week stuff. I see what I did, right?
Hey, maybe you should have worn a Yankees hat because maybe you the reason why they got torched last night,
But
man.
I'm
supposed to keep the Yankees hat going, man.
I'm starting to think that when the Nationals said they started losing too. That's
crazy.
As soon as I did it,
You should at least brought the Yankees hat because they play at 8, man. You might have just effed them,
right?
You might have effed them for the night.
I mean,
this is the last game.
I hope not.
Right. So I mean, since we there, we might as well. Might as well just jump into the World Series. I'll speak for myself. I am excited. You know what I mean? That the Nationals are in the World Series. I hope the fellas can say the same.
Definitely excited.
Okay, all right.
They're not doing too well right now.
Yeah, I mean, but they started strong, so you know it's balanced now. It's kind of like
it's 0-0.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which worries me.
Yeah.
Because they took the aces from the Astros, they took them on, and they beat them the first 2 games.
Yeah.
But Lightning usually don't strike twice in the same spot. So that to me has me a little worried. Hopefully they pull out tonight because tonight's is super crucial.
No, it's only 7 games.
There's 7, so it's 2-2.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They lose this game and then...
If they lose this game, it's alright.
Yeah. I can't see them. I mean,
they have to win 2 in a row in Houston.
Which they've done, but it's just like to do it twice. Yeah. I mean, they need that W tonight, man. They definitely need that W.
Statement game tonight.
So they gotta do whatever they gotta do.
And the starting pitcher is out tonight.
Who for Washington?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I heard about
she gotta be talking about Washington.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
So,
man. What did they say?
What up, Calvin?
Something about his shoulder or something like that.
Yeah, because they pulled him out. I mean, he wasn't doing great last night, but there's that. You know what I mean? Right. But yeah, man, we'll see.
We're gonna keep hope alive.
Yeah, that's all we can do. We
keep hope alive.
Like,
we there though. After almost 100 years of not being there, we are there. So
for real.
Even if we don't this is basically the first go round. So hey, we got opportunity to improve from here.
The irony is you get rid of your best hitter and Bryce Harper, and then
now we go to the World Series.
Yeah,
right.
That ain't looking too good.
Nah, not for Bryce. I don't know what that's saying for him. Hopefully nothing, but it ain't looking too good.
Right. Yeah, we'll see, man. We will see. Yellow. Yeah, I see it. What's that? I gotta get off of this little blicky here.
No risk.
Hey, J Soul, come on, man. We don't do that around here. First of all, they suck. Second ball, they suck.
I heard from a whole lot of Dallas, and they win one game after losing 3 in a row. Now all of a sudden they back out of high. Man, get out of here.
Yeah, no comment from me.
Next spasm. You said next spasm.
Next spasm. That's what we calling it now. Okay. All right. Right. I'm just playing. But yeah, man. I mean, it'd be nice if they pull it off and stuff. Yeah, man. I'm rooting for them. It's really the only sporting events I go to is like baseball games. You know what I mean? Like I haven't gone to a basketball game in DC since these Bams were the Bullets.
Yeah, I know, because I invited you to one.
Yes.
And you were shut down.
Yeah.
I remember that conversation. That was not a good day, man.
Well, the irony about DC sports is the same thing with Washington right now. When it comes to football, it's basically the same thing with basketball too. You go to the games and see the other team.
Oh yeah.
So like
ain't nobody tripping off these clowns.
One of my last games that I went to at Capital One Arena was Kobe's last game with Washington. So outside of that, it's really no point even going out there.
I think the last one I saw was in Cleveland, a Cleveland game when they were here. No, not Cleveland. It was, I don't know, somebody.
You said Cleveland?
Here. No, it would have been.
That's a hot take.
Nah, it wouldn't have been LeBron. It was somebody. It was somebody worth seeing, but it was not. We were not there for the Wizards. Oh, and speaking of basketball, so I guess we're doing.
We might as well.
The basketball season is starting off rather swimmingly, shall I say.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be I think this is going to be a historic NBA season. I'm deeming this historic because the teams are so shuffled up. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this is just beginning of the season action, but I don't recall teams playing this hard at the beginning of the season. Kyrie Irving scored 50 points in the first game. Come on, man. Opening night, he hits a 50-piece.
And then reset the rivalry between the Knicks because they almost brawled in that game.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely.
It was only
They do not like Kyrie out there. Hey, Kyrie out there stirring them up, cooking them out there, man.
That's what I'm saying. I would offer you something.
I'm good. I'm good. Right.
Oh, that Russian is wide.
Y'all just let me know if I need to lay this joint down when y'all got crashed because you can't drive home. You know what I mean?
That Russian is wide.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Hey, so Johnny, I don't think that's gonna work this year, man. I don't think the all Antetokounmpo approach. I don't think that's going to get it this year.
What do you mean, the old Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak? What do you mean?
I don't think he's going to be able to do it by himself this year.
Oh, absolutely not. They were up on 21 against my Miami Heat. Yes, sir, go Heat. It was up 21.
Right.
In the third quarter, you up 21 points, you lose in overtime. And that's without Miami having Jimmy Butler, their best player. So, yeah, they're going to be a team you got to watch this year.
Miami?
You're going to have to watch Miami.
Yeah, they got some...
I'm not saying they're going to beat whoever comes out of the West, who, in my opinion, right now. And it's funny. The Clippers smacked the Lakers game 1. They smacked, who was it? Golden State game 2, and then turn around and lose to Devin Booker and the Suns in game 3.
I didn't even see game 3.
Devin Booker was lighting Patrick Beverly up. Lighting him up. And the funny thing about it is, because they're everything we said they were going to be last year when we talked about the trade. Defensively, they scrappy as hell. Right now, they don't have Paul George. But when Paul George does return,
it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem, dude. Yeah. It's going to be a serious problem. I'm loving it. Like NBA season right now, I'm more excited about this NBA season than I am in any other season I can remember.
I definitely agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's even when LeBron was in Miami as a Miami fan. No, this is more exciting, man. Yeah,
and I'm really interested in seeing how this the challenge is how that's gonna work out, because they haven't, it's not very fluid yet. They're just challenging just to kind of get used to challenging now.
It's dumb. I mean, to be honest with you, can you have me a coach? I don't want to disrespect his word.
Yeah, that's another one right there.
Okay. So I don't think that the challenges are being used the way they're supposed to be used. To me, you hold those challenges on until the end of the game.
Yeah,
and it's time. Is that a charge or is that a block?
Well, I think that's why they're doing it now, because that, you know, the NBA been here for all this time, and that's never been a thing. So I think they're just doing it to get themselves accustomed to even challenging, period. Because how you gonna know how to use it at the right time when you don't know how to use it at any time at all? So I feel like because some of the joints that they were doing, it's like it wasn't big deals at all. Right. And it was in like the first and second quarter. It's like you're using your challenge now. They just trying to get accustomed to it. Wow. Hey Johnny, he sharp that don't do it for real, because that's my man. But he never let him in. If you ever see his name, you should just get him, just toss him in the trash, man. DJ Jazzy Jeff him out of the damn Bel Air mansion, man. Asshole, man. And it's fucking great too.
The best taste.
For those that want to know what this is, it's called a White Russian.
Right. So it was like Johnny said it was too early for eggnog.
It's a White Russian. It's a legit drink. Yeah. I will tell you the ingredients, but I don't care to tell you right now. So it's simple.
Y'all don't know shit.
You know what I mean? Just know it's good as hell.
Hey, real quick, shout out to everybody in here real quick. I see, of course, we got Johnny holding it down. We got his mighty wrench with him. Ali is up in this joint. Wendy, what up? Sharp already going in. Mr. Share, shout out to Steph. Mugen's up in here. Who else we got?
Steph, welcome back to town, Steph.
J Soul's in the spot. Calvin was up in this joint. Peace, Calvin.
He ain't been in here in a little while.
Yeah. He always pop in and say what's up. Wakel, peace. What's going on, Wakel? I think he's from the UK. And who else? Did I miss anybody? That's about it. Zenitive, peace. You were up in here earlier. Not sure if you're still here, but peace. Fernando, what up? And number forward, peace. Alright, just wanted to say what's up real quick. Jay Wellington just arrived as well. Jay's been true. Yeah, man. Good to see the family up in this joint, man, and all our extended fam up in this.
Did anybody want to answer that question real quick about from Ali?
Got you. What do y'all think about the recent news concerning the NBA and what's happening in Hong Kong? Don't mean to derail conversation, just wondering what y'all think. It's all good. We all talking sports, so
I see the hypocrisy of it all. Ali, to be honest with you, the NBA gets a lot of money internationally, and especially from Hong Kong, especially from China. They get a lot of money there. It's funny that a lot of the attention right now is going towards LeBron and what he has to say about the situation, instead of the guy, Morey, from the GM from the Houston Rockets, instead of a lot of the heat being brought to him.
Right. But you know what that is.
Of course I know that.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. It's funny because it's shut up and dribble when you're speaking against the improprieties of this country. It's shut up and dribble. We just want to see you play sports. Right. But then when it's an international issue, they put the mic in your face.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What do you think about this situation?
Which I think is extremely unfair.
Yeah.
I think these dudes, at the end of the day, I just don't feel like their political opinion should be held at such a high regard. Not that their opinions aren't respected or aren't valid or credible. Right. It's just like that's not what they're here for. Yeah. And you putting people in positions that aren't thinking on that level, like they're not thinking about the proper political thing to say. Like these dudes are playing basketball and they're on a team. Right. So when you're operating in a team aspect or in a team concept, the idea is not, fuck these people, I'm about this. It's like, nah, I feel like at most points an athlete is going to try to see both sides of things because they're on a team. So you're going to have to at times agree with somebody that you might not fully agree with, but you gotta find a compromise at somewhere. So I feel like that's what athletes are going to tend to do more times than not.
I would definitely say that the only reason why their opinion oftentimes is given so much weight is because of their status, right? There are like far more informed people who, and what's crazy is, right, and I do appreciate the players that when they are confronted with these things and they decide that they do care about them. One of the things that made Kaepernick so powerful is that basically he stepped to people who were far more informed than him and made sure that they helped him gather all the information, make sure he had talking points that aligned with his views and stuff like that. So he was an informed advocate.
Microphone in your face.
So it was hard for them to catch him off guard. Like, he was thoroughly prepared. Like, he knew what it was he set out to accomplish.
Catching candid statements about something like that is really unfair.
And it's tough. Like, you know, I've been in positions where I've been interviewed. They bring me in for one thing, and then, like, just like what just happened, folks will bring something up that maybe wasn't on the agenda for folks to talk about. And what you got to learn to do is, like, if you're ready to speak on it, you go ahead in. But, like, if it's something that you know that you prefer to do more research on before you offer an opinion, I always advise folks to do it. And so in those situations, live on the radio, they put me on the spot, and I'm just like, if I'm being honest, like, I only know so much about that subject, and I definitely don't know enough that I'm about to voice a lot of opinions without doing some homework first. Right. So the next time I come back, we can go ahead and talk about it some more if that's what we're going to talk about. But as of right now, I don't feel comfortable speaking on it because I need to learn more about it. And that's a respectable answer. But you always going to have somebody who mad no matter what. Yeah, whether you got something great to say or not, somebody gonna have an issue whether you speak up or not. Right. Oh, Griselda, what's up? Peace. What's up, Griselda? Happy belated birthday. Her birthday was yesterday.
Yes.
So happy belated.
Darnell C, welcome.
What up?
Man. But what about to say?
I honestly, when it comes to, I'm gonna speak on the hypocrisy of it again, because when LeBron speaks up about this country and its woes and its issues that we're facing, it's always from a position of him knowing what's going on here, okay? And just like you said, internationally, you may not know exactly what's going on overseas. But my question is, why fake the funk? Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, you really don't give a damn about what he thinks here because there's no action being put behind it when he does speak up. So why do you give a damn about what he says about something internationally when we don't control what goes on over there? You know what I mean? So to me, that is like...
Because when he's... I feel like they're... I hate to put this in there, but I just feel like a little bit of, hey, nigga, we're letting you play this ball. You go out, you go overseas, you better be out good, you better be a good nigga and speak up for us now. Yeah. I hate to be that dude, but that's absolutely... Blame it on the shirt.
Here's where... I mean, because I went through this conversation on my... in the sports group I'm at. 2022, the Olympics are supposed to be in Beijing. Mm-hmm. If everything's so much of an issue or a problem,
why haven't you canceled?
Are we not sending American athletes to Hong Kong for the Olympics because we feel some type of way? Or are we going to get in line with the games or whatever, because at the end of the day we're all benefiting from the games? You know what I mean? So don't play it both ways. Don't say okay. And honestly, the NBA, while we do benefit from international money or whatever during the preseason, as well as them airing the airtime or whatever over in China and Africa and other countries and everything, technically you can take the NBA out of that and the NBA will still exist.
Fine. Yeah, it'll be absolutely fine.
So the only thing we're really arguing about is don't fuck up our money. You know what I mean? That's basically what we're really arguing about.
Always listen. Don't ever get it misconstrued, right? Like, it's all like money. You can almost always find your way back to money in almost every situation. A good amount of the stuff that we fight in this country about, like when we think it's about racism and all of this stuff, the underlying problem for a good amount of this stuff is almost always money, right? And so, like, it's important for folks to remember that. I want to switch gears real quick because Johnny just pointed out something that is hilarious. I saw that video this morning. R.I.P. Harden's chin. Hey,
what did you slam the ball around? Get him in the gym.
I'm so sick of James Harden. Hey, Houston fans out there, I apologize. I'm tired of James Harden.
Why?
Because he's not out there balling. He's out there trying to get calls. Just play your game, dog.
Well, but that is a part of. Just like Batman got a utility belt, dog. James Harden got his utility belt full of tricks. I'm not mad at it.
Okay, but here's the difference.
I hate to see it because it's so tricky.
You brought that up. Here's the difference. Batman goes through his utility tricks when he can't whoop your ass, when he needs something extra. This motherfucker, every time he comes down to court, I'm looking to get into the ref. I'm looking to get, like, come on, dog.
And that's definitely hindering his game.
And then on top of that, the team is taking on his characteristics. So every time something doesn't go their way, they're crying to the official. As somebody who used to hoop, still hoop, you get tired of seeing it.
And I'm hopefully that's what Westbrook is going to bring to the table, because he ain't about that type of shit. He does not cry at all. Like he curses. He says, I don't know if y'all can see lots of curse words.
Right. So hopefully y'all can see that. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. That's what happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
His chin to the L. Oh my god.
Man. Hey, look, we can be on sports the whole show.
I was about to say, yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, so let's talk about, like, you know, the brother who is the cover of the joint. I know you ain't seen it, but man, let's jump into that. Have you seen Dolemite yet?
It's in my queue.
It's in my God. Well,
go ahead. Right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, right there. Hey man, look. If you have not seen Dolemite Is My Name, I highly recommend that you watch it. It is on Netflix. It's hilarious. It's inspirational, actually. It's really good.
We got a question right quick.
Sure, do it.
So, do we start this now? Or were we going to talk about the GQ cover?
Yeah, but
so
I figured we can
transition.
Well, yeah, let's start this now because we're 30 minutes in, and and this is the main topic. Right? Well, background music. No, it was background music for like 15. So it's really we've been on the intro and 15. NBA for about 15, 20 minutes. So I say we go ahead and do this main topic joint, and then we transition. Did y'all read the article though?
Yeah, man.
Okay, you read the article?
Read the article.
The new masculinity joint, which
you don't necessarily need to.
No, you do. You do.
It's circulated.
Yeah,
it's circulated.
That article is important. Yeah,
but you don't have to read the article to formulate an opinion about masculinity. If you want to
know for what they did, because that cover is clickbait. That cover is clickbait. And so people are formulating misinformed opinions based off of an image without doing their due diligence and actually reading because he doesn't fully agree. You changing the topic.
No. What I'm saying is
Dolemite.
Oh shit, that's right. Dolemite. Like we about to get all.
That's why I was saying. I'm like, no.
Okay, Dolemite.
All right, so look.
Good catch.
Hey, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. So yeah, man. So Dolemite, we are going to talk about the new masculinity joint. We definitely going to circle back to that Pharrell article right after. But yeah, man, I highly recommend you check out Dolemite Is My Name on Netflix. It is a great movie. Shout out to the entire cast. Eddie Murphy was great, but shout out to the entire cast. Because, man, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, man. I really love that movie.
Instant classic. Instant classic.
You know I love something if you catch me online, like posting Instagram stuff at 1 in the morning, because that is never me.
Shit you were saying.
I did not think I would be as inspired by Dolemite movie as I would. Right? So my thing is this, right? If you are a creative, if you are an entrepreneur, that is a great movie to watch because you don't have to agree with what the brother would talk about and his antics and all of the things that made him. But you cannot deny that this brother's work ethic and yo, my quote is this, like, yo, I'm gonna bet on myself. That right there, man. Like, bro, like
that was definitely the tagline of the movie. Right
I'm gonna bet on myself.
Yeah.
All the goosebumps, man. Like, man, Martini's in this. Oh yeah, Jay. You know what I'm saying? We upgrade. You know what I'm saying? Look, I ain't partaking, but this is how I go down. Right? He said, wait till next week.
You gonna see some shit.
Right?
Or not next week, the week after.
Right.
But go ahead.
But yeah, man. But listen, the movie was really great. Part of what I said in a post that I did earlier for our company, for Substantial Art Music, I was just pointing out how I love the fact that he was willing to bet it all on himself, right? 2, he basically, the reason why he was able to do it is because he knew his audience better than anyone in the room. Anytime he talked to people about the ideas he had and they didn't feel it, first thing he say, well, listen, I'm out here talking to people, and I know what people want to see. I know what people want to hear. I'm a bet on myself, right? And so you gotta appreciate that. The other part, him taking his fam with him, right? right? Like building something with his fam.
That crew he was with,
Yo,
the start of the movie was there all the way to the end. Yeah,
and then the part with the sister. And again, you know, it's a movie. The woman who's in it with him, Lady
Reed.
Lady Reed.
She gotta be from here.
Man, I love her character so much, man. Beautiful woman, strong woman.
That's based on a real character.
Yeah. And it was just dope, man. Like when she says to him, you know, and this is something in the preview, so I ain't like
listen, you ain't got to worry about spoiling it for me because I'm gonna watch it and
that's how I
got questions.
I hate when people man,
it's already in my list.
I wanted to watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
The way I feel is my fault because y'all did hit me with the text saying, "Yo, watch Dolemite." You know what I mean? I ain't know we was gonna do the show review on it this Sunday, but it's going good, so I'm gonna go back and watch it anyway.
Yeah, do that.
Plus, I got questions.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So like the sister basically says to him, like when the movie premieres, and again, and this is in a preview that's out already. She was like, "Yo, I just want to thank you for putting me in this movie because I've never seen anybody who looked like me on that screen." And that right there, man, like, you know, it was just powerful, man. Like, if I could, because that woman, man, like, she represents, like, so many of my actual sisters. Not, like, just my sisters, like, my people, but my actual sisters, right? Who I see them in her. And, yo, and it's just so real what she was saying. And so, like, man, I think it's just really, really, really dope to see, man. It was just a great movie. Again, I'm trying to speak on it without giving too many spoilers. I also want to say that I've actually been a Dolemite fan since I was a kid. Had no business. I used to listen to a lot of Dolemite and Andrew Dice Clay. Two comedians that no sixth graders should be listening to at any point in time.
Dolemite and Richard Pryor.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm talking about like I had both of those cassettes. I got Richard Pryor on vinyl back there somewhere.
Like 2 or 3 Richard Pryor vinyls.
Yeah,
I've been listening to since I was.
That's some Red Fox joints too. Yeah.
And it's like, so that's the reason why.
Can I ask my questions now? All right, so give me your take on Eddie Murphy's acting and comedy in Dolemite.
Excellent.
And also give me your take on who would you say is the best supporting cast for that movie?
Wesley Snipes. Well, he's the funniest
between her.
He's the
funniest
and
Lady Reed.
Lady Reed to me.
But you know what though? It kind of varies
because there's so many great.
Because the dude with the dude that plays the commercials,
he's great. It's a really dope cast, man. It's honestly,
it's an ensemble.
Like the two people, the one person who's getting talked about the most from the support cast is Wesley. Everybody's talking about how funny Wesley Snipes is. So he steals the show in almost every scene he's in, right? But Lady Reed, the Queen Bee, she is amazing. The one brother, I forget his name, but he has another show or whatever that's on Netflix. Yeah, but
I almost had the name of the other show.
He's funny as hell in his other show, but he's more of a he's a bit more serious in this. The brother who plays he plays Randall's father on This Is Us. I forget the actor's name. He's an older black dude. He's the one who Dolemite got his idea.
Where did his teeth go?
Man.
Does he really not have
that is great. No, that was great effects, bro. I don't know, but that's what it looked like.
I'm wondering if this man has teeth, man. I don't think he has teeth in real life.
Yeah, bro.
How long is this movie?
It's about
almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's worth it. Like,
every minute.
If it was less than 2 hours, I'd be pissed.
There was never.
My next question: are there any?
Absolutely, Grizel.
Are there any skits that kind of push the limit based off today's lack of? I don't say lack of. Today's oversensitive response that we get from most comedians.
Nah. I wouldn't. I mean, as a fan of Dolemite, he absolutely has that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't. I think the reason why why it works so well in this movie is because everybody's in on the joke, right? Like he's just not there disrespecting people for the sake of disrespecting people, right? Like there's random nudity and women kind of being exploited in different things, but don't get it twisted. Everyone's
with it because
they're making
a movement. It's a whole movement. It's not just Dolemite want to see ass and titties. Like, right. It's a whole the dude was genius.
Yeah.
In the way that he put everything together. Like everything meant something. Everything he did meant something. You're gonna love this shit.
Dude. Yeah, because
it's on my list.
Yeah, and
without down to the cursing, man. Like, remember when the dude was like, Well, Rudy Ray Moore himself was talking to his homeboy that was listening to Red Fox. He was like, "Oh yeah, he ain't doing nothing but cursing up a storm." He's like, "Nah, it's basically like it's strategic."
Yeah,
and then he started kind of emulating it once he heard from me. I'm done talking because I'm going to spoil. I'm sorry.
Right? Yeah, J Soul. Yeah, that first album cover scene was great. And the funny thing is, that's his first Dolemite album, right? So a couple of historical facts. Number one, Rudy Ray Moore. If you go on Spotify right now, he has music all the way back in like the late 50s that you can actually listen. That ding 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 ding. No, what? What's about to talk about?
When she dropped that robe, nigga.
Right. So I'm gonna move past that. Right.
I'm sorry.
Sherm be real reckless with his appreciation. Right, but I'm gonna go ahead because I still gotta get my dinner plate.
Where they do the album cover.
Yes,
my God.
All of what he said. So yes, she bad
all the time.
I'm gonna keep it moving, right?
Please,
because I like sleeping in my bed. So yeah, she bad. Yeah, but yo, like, so a couple of historical facts. Rudy Ray Moore has been like literally putting out music.
So was talking.
Since that's why I thought you brought it up.
No, I didn't even see the eyes in the woo.
Right. So he's been putting out music since the late 50s. You can actually look it up on Spotify. Also, fun fact, he was considered like at one point in time, his nickname was the Godfather of rap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like in fact, if you look up one of Big Daddy Kane's albums, not one of his best records, but Dolemite has a song with Big Daddy Kane where they are going back and forth. And that's the joint. That was one of my introductions to Dolemite. But I think I heard him one time before that. And then when I saw him on Big Daddy Kane album, I was like, yo, I might just play this first. Because that's the one where the line that you hear him say in the movie, and then he's known for whatever, jump in the ocean, swallow a whale, handcuff lightning through Thunder's ass in jail. I had the mumps in the Asiatic. He's like, had the mumps in the Asiatic flu, make the crabs around your ass sing the Yankee Doodle Doo. Like, dog, he's just so ridiculous, man. Yo, and like it was dope because Big Daddy Kane was just going back and forth with him.
Yes, and
like doing exactly that.
Yes,
so this is great, man. Yes, we can all agree with that,
man. Finest display of black womanhood, man.
Ice Killer Peace was good.
Yeah.
What about Ice Killer?
So yeah, man, Ice Killer Peace. So we're gonna shift gears again. The hot topic earlier in the week for a lot of people was definitely the GQ cover with Pharrell.
I'm looking like a shuttlecock,
man.
That shit. I forgot what dude name. Ryan, something I think his name was. That nigga looked like a shuttlecock.
I highly recommend that. Like, not only checking out the cover, because the cover. The moment I saw the cover, the conversation I had with my wife or whatever, when she first asked me what I thought, I was like, "Yo, it's clickbait." You know what I mean? It's literally it's created to trigger you, right? Now, don't get it twisted, right? I need you to read that article. It's very important to read the article. What Sherm said is true to an extent. I agree with him to an extent, which is you don't necessarily need to read the article to have an opinion. But you need to read the article so you can understand that Pharrell is not complicit in what GQ was trying to do.
That is the reason to read that
article.
Exactly. Because they are really with the shits. Like, they are really with the shits with this article. When I saw this shit, I'm like, why would, like, I'm looking at it like questioning what it meant, and then the fact that they were using Pharrell to headline it, but when they started asking him questions, my man was like, skirt, but curves everywhere,
right? And it was because, right, like you have some people who have a very specific agenda, right? And Pharrell is definitely a polarizing figure, right? Like, and he's basically a trendsetter when it comes to fashion. From the time he became a name, right? Like the whole trucker hats thing. Like, dude, I had never owned a trucker hat in my life until I saw Pharrell rocking it.
One of the more pivotal.
That big hat.
The Arby's joint. The Arby's joint. But that became
very pivotal in hip hop.
Absolutely. But the one thing that's key to understand, and so for those, backtrack for a second. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Pharrell was on the cover of GQ magazine, and he has this very interesting like coat thing on that looks like a gown.
It's stupid.
It's a bubble gown.
It's stupid looking, but it's fashionable. It's really dumb looking, but it's fashionable.
Right, but like,
it's like you ready to twirl.
Right. And so the issue that what really got everybody worked up is the fact that they put the new masculinity with it. Now, it's important to know, right, that number one, Pharrell, when they say that to him in the interview, lets them know real quick, he's like, yo, this ain't nothing new. The conversation is, right?
That's what made me read the rest of the article. Right. When he answered it that way, I was like,
that's why.
Oh, he's being real. Okay, I can continue on.
And that's why when you were asking me about it, I was like, make sure you read the article.
I know that.
And so, and it's just because it's important, right? Because it's easy to get sucked in. And people start going ham on stuff that they this goes back to what we were talking about with the political thing. People feeling so comfortable to just because everybody wants to be heard, even when what they have to say hasn't, like, they've done no research, they don't really have an intelligent opinion on it just because they haven't done their homework, right? And they're triggered. And then you fall in line with the same people you don't like nowadays who literally blow up about everything that they see because they're responding off the first thing they see without doing homework. So definitely, man, read the article because Pharrell made some great points. Part of what he talks about is he's like, yo, don't get it twisted. Like, he makes it real clear that there are certain things he wears because, like, there's the persona of Pharrell, and then there's the dude who he really is.
Right, and that was another point that really fucked with. It's like, when I'm at home, I don't dress like this. And a lot of these younger artists need to really take heed to that part. Yeah. Like, when you're playing your character, all of that stuff is cool, but you gotta dial down at some point, man. You can't just be going to the grocery store and all this extra shit.
Right. And don't get it twisted. Like, I know people who that's who they really are. That's how they dress. Like, my man Micah, right? He's not extra. Like, my man Micah isn't.
He don't do it like that no more.
No,
not like he used to.
But see, that's the thing. Like, if he's going out, right? Like, he basically has a certain look. But even when he dresses down, he has a certain style or whatever to how he dresses down. But he's not over the top all the time, which is the case of, like, for example, one of the things what I was looking for in the article, which he confirmed, is the fact that, like, when he saw that piece, he was like, "Oh, that's the one." Like, because he knew the type of response it would get. But he also knows that, when wintertime comes, I'm not gonna be wearing this outside. It's snow and ice on the ground. Shit gonna be dragging. Like, who the fuck is doing that? Nobody. Certain things we even see in fashion shows, they are literally created for the show, for the spectacle.
Right.
They are not created to be Right. And so I say all that to say, for anybody else who, it doesn't really seem like they have an opinion on it to begin with.
Nobody's saying anything about it.
But I highly recommend reading that article because I love a lot of what Pharrell had to say. What's your thoughts on it?
But do you think there's a push for defining masculinity in this generation?
I think what they're trying to.
I'm talking about overall.
No, I think what's happening is people are trying to kind of strip away certain guidelines and borders, right? And say that, like, no, like, masculinity does not have to look this way. You can be this. But what's a slippery slope, though, is I feel like, but with them putting that image on the cover and then saying the new masculinity
is now saying that old masculinity is a bad thing. Yeah,
right.
Saying that, if you're a macho guy, right? So you're the wrong kind of masculine. Like, no, man.
Right.
So a man is a man.
We gotta stop doing that whole drawing the line thing, saying that men don't do this, right? Women don't do this, or women do this. Because the thing is, it's like how many of us come from single households, right? Single family households. Well, I speak for myself. I mean, y'all kind of had, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, a lot of people came from single family households where traditionally the man or whatever is supposed to be the breadwinner, but women are oftentimes forced into a situation they didn't necessarily want to be in or didn't have a problem with being in, and stepped into the role out of necessity. And I think the same thing is true, right, for many people, where it's like this false sense of men are always supposed to do certain things, right? And women can't do these things. It's something that people were raised with, and certain societies kind of set these guidelines. But it's important to know that every place you go to in the world does not subscribe to that same idea. So it's not this whole like religious, like mandated thing, like that men are definitely like this and women are definitely like this. Outside of one can have kids, the other can't, right? The other one can do these particular things, these folks can't. So like the lines being blurred, me personally, I don't take issue with it, right? Because if you are a person who operates a certain way, there is a person out there for you, right? Who you can spend your life with, spend your time. There are groups of people you can spend your time with who believe in that same line of thinking. Just like that person who does not agree with you, it feels like it's a little more blurred, and people can kind of operate this and be successful and be happy. More importantly, and be happy. There are people for you out there. There are communities out there that get down that way. And I'm, for one, it's like, what's the quote I heard recently is my favorite quote right now. Don't yuck my yum. Right? Don't yuck my yum. Hey, dog, if I'm good over here doing this and I'm surrounded by other people who are good with it and nobody's getting hurt, the women that we're with are perfectly fine with operating this way. The men that we're with are perfectly fine operating this way. And the kids, for the most part, are good, right? And don't have any more or less problems than any other group of people. Then that group of people should be able to move how they want to move if they are not breaking any laws or any laws that should be broken because they're bullshit. So that's my 2 cents on it. But, you know, I don't know.
Can you read J Soul's response to
What
it?
he said?
Because what J Soul said is how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. There is absolutely an attempt to redefine what masculinity is. Problem is, it's being redefined by people who aren't masculine. I was.
I agree.
Right.
I fully agree with that, bro. I just
seen a tampon commercial with a guy wears one.
I saw that too.
The slogan, if man got periods too, we be comfortable with it. Yo, but okay, so that's not dog. Like, do you understand what they're saying though? Because I feel like you're missing.
But see,
like,
okay,
if you got a problem with that commercial, I feel like you're missing.
I think it's okay for him to have a problem with that commercial. But I don't think everybody has to be okay with everything.
I agree.
That all of this is going on is bullshit. It's bullshit. A man is a man. People are people. Women are women. And there hasn't this whole definition thing, the whole conversation about definition to me is a fucked up conversation. Because if you're a man that likes to plow a field, if you're a man that likes to primp his fingers, there is no this whole thing of defining masculinity, there's never been an issue with it. Because niggas been wearing women's clothes for fucking ever. Prince came out in ass-out jeans a long fucking time ago. I'm pretty sure Richard Pryor has put on female clothes before. So this whole conversation to me is absolute bullshit. It is America's way of selling shit. There is no I feel like the conversation is new because in years prior, in decades prior, masculinity held some really toxic things, like as far as homophobia and different things like that. But now it's turning it's evolving, and men and society isn't as ignorant and stupid as we used to be. So masculinity is still the same shit. It's just that now men that are maybe uber masculine, we're not as fucking stupid. Now it's not like, oh, you see that dude with a dress on, oh, fuck that nigga. No, you see that nigga with a dress on, alright, the nigga got a dress on. Who gives a shit? So I don't really fuck with this conversation. I think it's really stupid because, I mean, as people are going to be people, there's always going to be a push and a pull with all of these titles. There's always going to be a push and a pull because titles were made by man. So you're never going to get anyone performing at a perfect capacity in any of these in any of these perspectives. So if you a man that likes to hold your dick, great. If you're a man that likes to explore more of the feminine sides, great. It's all fine. Gives a fuck about this shit.
Big true, Jay Wellington. There's power in being a man. There's power in being a woman. I agree with that too.
Right.
But see,
go ahead, Jay.
This is such a slippery slope.
It is.
It's such a slippery slope because it comes to a point where when you're disagreeing with the way that society is depicting masculinity, you're attacked for that. You know what I mean? And I feel like that part needs to come out of the conversation before, you know what I mean?
But that is the conversation. That's what the whole conversation is for. It's for the attacks.
One of my favorite lines, and I'll say this of all times, when it came to comment, was, if I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean
I'm hating.
Okay, but that works both ways. I don't like certain imagery that's being pushed. You know what I mean? When it comes to men doing what society has deemed more suitable for women. I don't like the imagery. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hate you because of it. I don't hate For Real because of it. I don't hate A$AP Rocky because of it. I don't hate the numerous other artists. And I'm air quoting artists because I feel like when you're an artist, you're trying to get that shock factor. Prince was 100% trying to get that shock factor. You know what I mean? He was, as in our days coming up, as feminine of a man as a man could be, according to his look. You know what I mean? But outside of that look, he was a man.
Yeah.
Right. So as an artist, I understand it. You know what I mean? I understand that that's pushing the shock factor on you. And it was accepted for a long time. It's still accepted to an extent. But
it's even more accepted now.
Right, but I think that was coming up like Tank. Like Tank had the whole thing, like you could suck.
My man came over trying to have that conversation. Like, dog, who gives a fuck?
But the point is, you're redefining what it is to be a man. I honestly think that men
what Tank was saying was doing that?
Yeah, but he was trying to define what makes you gay and what makes you not gay.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But dudes
I don't really think so.
Prison. Dudes who came from prison do the same shit all the time, where it's like, you know, I did this when I was in prison. That don't mean I'm gay. I was just surviving. Now I'm back out in the world.
I get that. But see, prison is another. But see, even prison has its mark on the world because sagging, you know what I mean, is a prison. It's a prison look, and it was done for something totally different when you're in prison as opposed to when you come out. That whole issue is a lot deeper than what a lot of these kids understand. And that's why I have an issue with this whole push for masculinity to be redefined, because the issue is a whole lot deeper, in my opinion, than what I think these kids are understanding. And that's why when I brought up Prince, when he's doing it for artistic expression. You know what I mean? When Pharrell's doing it, he's doing it for artistic expression. What about the common kid that's doing it assuming that this is now what men are supposed to look like?
Right. I mean, well, it's one of them things. It's a slippery slope. It starts in the house. Who's educating that kid? What conversations are they having? But I did want to address something J Soul said, right? Because one of the things that he said that I don't agree with, he's saying that women are never attacked for being feminine.
That's a good point.
That is bullshit. They are absolutely attacked for being feminine. Now, hold on. It's not just the emotional shit, right? It's the whole idea of you do this like a girl. Dude, you acting like a bitch. We throw insults at women indirectly all the time. And on top of that, right? It's also the fact that, like, similar products that women purchase, they literally pay more money for. Right? Like, they are literally being overcharged for basic necessities where our prices don't even line up. On top of being underpaid.
But that's a
that is an attack at feminism.
That's a double-edged sword. Because when it
That's
comes
why this
to
conversation
marketing,
is
I'm going to tell you why.
because it's
When it
always
comes to marketing.
This is what the conversation
when it comes to marketing,
is. It's an argument.
I guarantee you.
It's always a debate.
But it's not because they have to not agree on something that's not even.
When it comes to marketing, this is why the equation is a lot deeper than what people are assuming, and I mentioned that. Because if I give you a $200 budget to go shopping, and then you give your missus $200 to go shopping, she's going to come back with a lot more bags than you will. Because they know that when it comes to marketing for men, we are one-time buyers. We're going to buy one pair of jeans, we're going to buy one pair of shirt, one pair of shoes, we're going to buy a shirt or whatever. Hell, you might get $200 and buy one pair of shoes. You give a woman $200 and she goes shopping for shoes, she coming back with at least 3 or 4 pairs. So they market it.
Well, that's not necessarily true,
but it's 100% true.
Not for everybody.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's on average true. That's the reason why their things cost a lot. Now it's an adverse side to that.
I know a lot of red bottoms.
That's red bottoms. That's right. I'm talking about your common. I'm not talking Nordstrom's versus, you know what I mean, Saks Fifth Avenue. I'm talking about Foot Locker versus DSW. You see what I'm saying? Where we go to Foot Locker on the regular, we might go scoop some J's or whatever. Boom, we out $150, $180. That's one pair of shoes. You know what I mean? A woman, you give her $200 to go to DSW, she coming back with a lot more. You know what I mean? It's marketed. Wait. And the reason why you know it, this shit you cannot deny. The reason why you know it's marketed different because they accessorize it way different than we do. So
let me just say this. All of this,
I do want to retort.
All of this to me is
based on societal marketing alone. It's definitely different it's definitely different from the way that we do it, and definitely different from the way
all of this is just marketing. Like this whole masculinity, femininity, all of this is, to me, that's why I think it's bullshit. It's man-made construct. So we're really arguing nothing. It's something that was put in place to make it able to sell things to
the reason why it's not bullshit though is because there are people who don't know that it's a man-made construct. They think this is just what it is. And what people have, and that's the thing, like, you have to understand the marketing piece, right? It is absolutely marketed to you a certain way until you buy into it and you just think this is what it is. Just like when people say, I like the traditional idea of marriage. Nigga, which tradition are you talking about? Because today's traditional idea of marriage is a fairly new concept from roughly the 1900s, right? And so, like, at one point in time, literally, a father was marrying off his daughter to another particular person because of financial gain or whatever, for cows, for land, so again, in that concept of marriage is a much older concept than what we consider the traditional idea of what marriage is right now, which is still fairly new. And understand that even in the traditional idea of marriage, traditionally, blacks weren't able to marry. Traditionally, people with mental handicaps or whatever weren't able to marry, and a long list of other people outside of the gay community being able to marry. So this whole those man-made constructs, absolutely, people. That's why it's not bullshit, because people have to understand that these are man-made constructs, and it is okay because over time things change. That's just it's part of our evolution. Absolutely.
I mean, I get it.
The one thing I understand. But just going back to something, right? So you're talking, like, some of the stuff you're talking about, like, there is some truth to what you're saying, but the reason why it's not 100% facts is, for example, the difference between you having to buy, like, what you're going to pay for some underwear and a tank top is very different than what my wife is going to have to pay for a bra. I can go ahead and get a pack that'll last me for like a week or two. Or whatever, when she just getting the two bras from a female that might be a month's worth of draws.
I get that.
Absolutely.
I get that. But why is that? That's what I'm saying. Why is that? One is a specifically marketed product for women. So I can bust them over the head with that because they absolutely need it. Okay, and because it's not an
draws too.
Wait a minute, but it's not an all the time buy. It's not an all the time buy.
Right.
So for women, they may buy 3 good bras within a quarter period of time. Okay, 3 good ones. The rest of them they get on a sale. Those 3 good bras gonna cost them $90 to $100. That is fact. Okay, so when it comes to men, we're not going to buy jeans we're not going to accessorize a whole bunch of jeans. You're going to have a few jeans or whatever. And you're going
talking to the and I got clawed hands. I'm not. And I put our fists together like a girl.
I'm not saying it like that. I'm not saying it like that. The basic point is you're not going to be out as much shopping for specific things over and over again.
James.
No,
you're talking to the wrong dude, man.
I'm not talking to
I go look for draws.
You bargain shop
2 to 3 times a week.
Cool.
I be looking for draws.
Right, but you're not going to pay the same price a woman's
I pay $6 for 1 pair of draws.
Let's switch it up then. When a woman goes to get her haircut, or when women goes to get her hair done. The hair done is supposed to last a good 3 months most of the time. So you're getting charged $150, $200, and sometimes even more just for that one-time stop. Whereas a guy, we're going to the barbershop.
But your haircut only lasts in 2 weeks.
Right, but you're not spending $200
because your haircut is only lasting 2 weeks as opposed to a month.
It's still marketed.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 months might be risky. It's more like a month.
It don't matter. Okay, so that makes my point even more.
But if you paying $200,
if I was cutting somebody's hair, so I cut Stan's hair, and my haircut is gonna last him for a month, you goddamn sure, you better believe that's a $150 haircut, right? Because I'm not gonna see you for like a month.
Okay, then, but it like I said, it all goes back to marketing and how you market. If you know that something's going to be a repeated buy, you drop your value. When you know something's going to be a one-time thing and I'm not going to see you for a minute, you raise your value. It's simple as that. So you got specific things that are for women.
In the market
Thank you. You got specific things that are for women that they bust them over the head for. Women can go out and buy accessories galore. She may pay $5, $10 here. She may come back with earrings that's not expensive, but they flow with the outfit.
So they're even in the playing field now.
Thank you.
They're even in the playing field.
It's standards and it's double standards, but then the double standards are usually matched based on market and what they're valuing for men specifically and what they're marketing women specifically. So it goes both ways. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That was a roundabout way to say it.
But when it comes to masculinity and everything, like it's like, okay, we got to redefine it. To me, if I don't feel like there's a need to redefine masculinity at all.
No,
I really don't feel like there's a need to redefine it. But that's what you're seeing society-wise. They're like, okay, let's start putting men in dress. And
I don't think society. I think that's the media trying to redefine it. I think society is just
somebody mentioned that in the comments.
Is trying to evolve and figure it out.
J-Soul mentioned that in the comments. He said it's a I can't go back and I'm just subquoting. He said that something about it's being redefined by people who aren't masculine. Okay, and that's where the problem is, and that's a long about way of me getting to this point is that point that he made or that comment that he made is true. You got guys that are in high level places, high marketing places that are saying, you know what, let's start putting men in this. Or let's start doing this and that because they know the average guy is going to start following, oh, this is the new look or whatever, this is the skinny jeans. I hate skinny jeans.
Well, wait.
I absolutely hate skinny jeans.
Just to why
did skinny jeans take off?
But wait. Let me insert this.
Pour your drink, sir.
So wait, what was that you said before?
Like skinny jeans, that became a fad.
Okay, so are they introducing it? Or wait, because the shit's always been around.
Right.
So now what's going on is they're just saying, hey, all you dudes that were too scared to do this, it's okay now. Because look, I'm gonna be honest, I have skinny jeans. Before Pharrell, I would have never put those and when I say skinny, I'm not talking about it's a specific type. I'm from PG County. Your shit can't be but so small. But I have smaller pants than I would have ever worn in my life, and it's directly related to what I saw Pharrell in. Because I saw this shit, I'm like, yo, the pants look kind of slick.
There you go, Jay Wellington. That is the best. That's a great
comment.
There is a need to address toxicity.
That's what we were talking about. The toxicity.
Yeah, I agree. I think everybody can agree on that.
And it's just a new conversation on the evolution. It's the evolution of masculinity because now men are realizing that you don't have to be scared to put on some little ass pants. You don't. If you feeling that Chanel necklace, put the motherfucker on. Dude's been wearing. I know a dude. I don't even think this nigga buys men's sneakers. I think he only buys female versions because their colorways be so dope.
Yo, so fire.
Shit's been happening. It's just
if
now.
I did not wear 13, there's a lot.
You can still do it.
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta order it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like I'm, just like
you're not going
out in the world
grabbing them.
Yeah, look at that lady's 15.
No, I stay when I go to the stores. I stay peeping women's jewelry. Yeah, that shit, the colors are crazy, man.
I'm not.
No,
dude.
But it's cool.
Yeah,
you know what? I wouldn't have been comfortable in being this dude that I currently am were it not for the shit that's going on. Were it not for the things that are happening. But so what you said, they're kind of perverting the evolution and turning it into an argument rather than an awakening.
Yeah.
Rather than it just being men who old world men who might have had some toxicity, learning that you don't have to be toxic, and more feminine men learning that hey, we can be in the same room. We can be in the same bar with the dudes and have the same conversation because and at the end of the day, because none of that shit that you do is anybody else's fucking business.
Peace, Miles B. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just say this real quick, just to kind of transition.
Peace, bro.
Yo, like one thing.
Oh my God.
Homework for everybody. Oh,
This nigga J so
what he's like. Oh man, you know, it didn't make me skinny. It's all the shit. Hey, J so clown, yeah.
that boy man.
Hey, so look, real quick. Just wanted to say, if you have not seen the movie already, I definitely recommend checking out
Put that
the mask
right now.
The Mask You Live In.
Oh,
right, that joint. The
Mask You Wear.
Is it Mask? This is Mask You Wear. What is it? That's the documentary I tried to show you a minute ago, where you came through the crib. Hold on, I think it's me.
Mask You Wear.
I think it's the Mask.
I don't know why I'm not getting the charge over here.
Nah, it's Living. It's Living.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, it's called The Mask You Live In. Yeah, it's The Mask You Live In. It came out in 2015. It talks about toxic masculinity. It addresses like a lot of what we're talking about. And it's a great conversation piece. It's more important. But this is what I want to say to y'all. Because this is
toxic masculinity.
Homophobia is absolutely toxic masculinity.
But what it also is like
back to comments.
So no.
There's some like if when I see a gay dude and I'm like fuck that nigga just because he gay. That's toxic as shit. Just because I feel like I'm a heterosexual, so my shit is right. So you being an effeminate man, I have the rights. I have the right to poke fun and chastise. But that's a part of toxic.
But even outside.
So what is it when women do it?
So no, but that's the thing. We're just talking about masculinity. Toxic. There can be toxic femininity as well. You see what I'm saying? Huh? No, it's not a term because no one's not really having. Listen, hold on.
It all goes back.
I'm sorry. Time out. So absolutely, it does exist. Motherfuckers just don't address it. You know what I mean?
Why?
So it's no, but because hold on. I got you. But let me finish my point. My point is this, right? It can absolutely be addressed. If you are like a person who sees it, you should absolutely be addressing it. But the thing is, the reason why toxic masculinity is a conversation because the powers that be, as we already stated, or have decided that this is what they want to talk about. But
money off of it.
Listen, but don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up because it is a problem. It absolutely is a problem. It's a problem because here's what I was about to say to y'all before we got sidetracked, right? I was just talking to my wife earlier today, and we was talking about my relationship with Marcus D, right? And it's not that certain things or whatever, like we don't like poke fun and do certain shit, right? But there are certain conversations and certain things that Marcus, I feel like, has kind of said to me, right? Because like we've been in certain situations where he's kind of opened up and we've cried and we've like talked about real shit that like sometimes that dudes that I come up with, that I grew up with, we don't always have those moments. And it's not that like I'm closer to him than I am you or closer to him than I am you. But like for whatever reason, there's a certain part of our relationship, like maybe it's the history part or like there's certain shit that we just don't do. You know what I mean? And there's a little bit of peace in that. You know what I mean? Like for example, there is like we all hang around Truth in it, right? I love Truth to death, right? But there's a part of you that know like when you're around certain people, you gotta be on guard out the gate because you know niggas is coming for you out the gate. It does not mean they don't love you. Right, but like sometimes we poke fun and shit. I've done this to you before.
It's learned behavior,
right? And it can be toxic, right? Like we basically.
No, it's not. Can be. It is. Playing Dozens is absolutely the most toxic
black
culture. Right.
Believe that.
Absolutely.
Right.
And this is what I'm saying, right? And my point is, there are certain parts of it where we challenge each other in a negative way, and part of that deals with us trying to outman the other one. Like, man, oh, you mad now? You crying right now, nigga? You simply
you dig even harder.
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely. And that, my friend, is toxic as fuck. And that ain't got nothing to do with women coming for us.
That's put in jail.
Yes,
that type of shit.
Absolutely, dog.
And that
absolutely,
you'd have to understand what I'm saying.
And don't get it twisted. And the reason why I say watch that movie is not to get on that fucking wave. Yo, listen. That movie affected me so deeply when I saw the shit. And again, I don't really give a fuck how everybody else feel when they see it. I know what the shit did for me. I was in here about to write a song about a completely different fucking topic. My wife called me in the room, was like, yo, I feel like you should see this. Because based on conversations I've had with you and what I've known you grown up through, like in terms of what you experience in your neighborhood and just, you know, and what I see you go through from time to time, I think this will resonate with you. Dog, I was a few minutes into that shit and I was fucked up. Because it's like, yo, there were so many things. Like, it talks about how, like, yo, how many times you wanted to be, like, there's certain things you wanted to do, like, with your homie or whatever, or say to your homie that you don't necessarily say because if you say it around the wrong motherfuckers, you'll get clowned for it. Something as simple as, like, yo, I say I love y'all, all the time. There are certain groups of dudes that just, right, you know who, and here's the wild shit. You know the first dude who said that shit to me? Jamal. The last motherfucker you would think said that to me. He was the first dude, and I'm talking about, dog, we was like 15. And that shit like caught me off guard because it's like he's definitely the dude who's like the man, right? Like always, this nigga's always talking about always talking about pussy. I love Jamal, but that's who he is, right? I say to people all the time, don't be mad at people for being who you knew they were. I know who that dude is. That motherfucker is one of the most consistent niggas ever, right? But when he said that to me, it threw me for a loop because that was not expected based on what society has taught us that like the type of dude he is. That's not something that you expect to hear from him. But like there's power in that. So like I say that, I make sure I say that shit to y'all all the time because I don't want to. I like yo shit, man. Y'all can not make it home. Some shit happen. And it's like, I feel like everybody that I love, they need to know I fucking love them. And I don't give a fuck who's present. I don't give a fuck what somebody got to say. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like the same thing with wearing shit. I'm going to wear a pink shirt. I might wear a pink tie. I might wear some other shit. Before Cameron made it a fucking thing, right? I might do some shit and get eaten alive. And we carry enough shit with us already. Like, dog, we get mentally abused the second we turn on our device. You know what I mean? We see images of black bodies, motherfuckers who look like us, being like wiped the fuck out, right? And like no regard for our life whatsoever. And then I'm just out here trying to be my fucking self, B. Just be my fucking self. And you just get destroyed by niggas who love you. Just eating away at your shit. And then when you can't take it anymore and you try to address it with them, you get cooked some fucking more. There's a reason why, like, yo, the one time you said something to me and really came at me for, like, yo, saying shit about your work and what you do as a barber and fucking with you the way I used to. Dog, when you came at me, son, you ain't, look, I think you maybe one more time after that, but it wasn't even like I was trying to come for somebody.
Remember that?
I never forget it because I love you that much. That shit, because I saw how it affected you, and you never came at me like that before. So I'm like, I'm never doing that to my man again, ever. Right? Just like when you and Cash had y'all shit that time or whatever, right? When he responded how he responded, I knew I'm like, never saying that shit to that nigga ever.
And that shit never happened.
But here's the important
threw me out of his house, man.
But here's the important part. But here's the important part, right? It ain't even on some fear shit. It's on some respect shit and some love shit. Like, yo, I say I love this dude. So at no point in time should I say anything that makes him feel like I don't love him and that he feel like I gotta get the fuck out of his home. Just like when we had our shit over at his crib that time and then we met and had a different conversation and shit on some one-on-one. Like, dog, like, these are things that, yo, like, we are not taught to do.
Yeah.
We are not taught to do.
But how much of that comes with maturity? Because the 21-year-old James is way different from the 40-year-old.
Right.
Sherm the same way, you the same way. I think we had to grow into a point where we knew these things weren't acceptable.
You're right. But the other part is, it took a lot of women in my ear to tell me some other shit. to make me. I mean, for me, I'm just speaking for me. A lot of women who was in my ear telling me other ways to do shit, and don't get it twisted. A lot of the negative.
Jay Wellington, he's on the same thing I'm saying. Like to me,
yeah,
when and when I was young, it was about.
But a lot of
let's keep this in mind. I'm agreeing with both of y'all. But let's keep in mind we've been seeing this whole evolution of masculinity during the time that we've been maturing. Mm-hmm. So is it really just us maturing, or is it us maturing coupled with the fact that we're undergoing this whole masculine evolution, and we've come up through both at the same time, and it's just meshed itself together as the same thing? Because it's not like our generation, like we are the catalyst for a lot of shit. So we've been like this whole evolution of everything. We've been growing up with it and like simultaneously. So can you actually say that this evolution coupled with our maturing it's not the same? I feel like it's basically the same thing.
I think pain births growth. Like when a woman's giving birth, she's experienced pain in order to get through a trial. I think that when it comes to brothers, we don't understand how much we affect each other until we experience some level of pain. So when I'm saying something that I know is negative and everything, to me it's all jokes until I see that it negatively affected you. Now it's pain. Okay, so now because I brought pain to you, I gotta make amends. To me that comes with maturity and the lack of knowledge and not knowing that, okay, what I'm saying is affecting him this deep and everything, and I gotta make amends for that. You know what I mean? So that to me is a part of, I think, growth and maturity. And I don't know if toxicity is the right word to describe it. You feel what I'm saying? Because when we're young, we all do fucked up shit when we're young. That's point blank period. My kids are no exception from that. You know what I mean? But let's not talk about the woman. That's why I asked earlier, what do you call it when it's women? Because we all have women who've done some fucked up shit to us. Is there a defining word for?
Well, so I think what True was saying. I think that is eloquent. I think we just get mad and be like, bitch.
From my point,
like niggas ain't trying to label it.
There's no defining term for female toxicity, though we all know it happens.
So that's what I'm saying. I agree with what True was saying. Is that like the whole adding the masculine and feminine side of it. It's just a debatable point. It's really just toxicity, period.
Right.
It like really if you take away the masculine and feminine, it's just toxicity. Right. And so the masculine and feminine side of it, that's for marketing. That's for debate's sake.
So where again does toxicity come from?
It's taught.
By who?
By the media, by your parents.
I was about to say it's taught in your house.
So taught meaning going back to behavior societal as well as marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also important to understand that before there were like large companies necessarily pushing these concepts on you. Don't get it twisted. These ideas.
It was the church.
I was gonna say that,
right?
I was waiting for that point. What I was gonna say.
Yes.
It sparked from.
I tread lightly with the church.
Gay people until I went to church. I didn't even know about that until I went to church.
Here's the thing.
Listen.
Okay. All right. So. You and I kind of both. I mean, even Stan with too. So he is feeling it. And see, this is why I love y'all, because we are from, I would say, 3 different spiritual backgrounds. Okay, 3 different times of our lives. Okay, at the end of the day, I respect him as a black man. I respect you as a black man. I respect y'all as my brothers. That's regardless of what we've been taught spiritually coming up and everything.
Absolutely.
But for me, I had to come to a realization that the same people pushing a lot of these values were basically using it to their own benefit.
Yes, Jay.
They were using it to their own benefit. You know what I mean? They're using it to say, okay, this is this, okay, and this, you know what I mean? You're supposed to do it this way. You're supposed to do it that. They set the terms. They set the norms from it. Meanwhile, a lot of them were doing that same stuff behind closed doors. You know what I mean? And then once you realize, oh, you're no different than the same people that you're telling me is, you know what I mean, a certain way, then I can't really respect. I gotta know God for who God is. You know what I mean? Whether God is a spiritual being or whether God is me. You know what I mean? So I had to realize that. You know what I mean? And I feel like that also came from a level of maturity, because when you're young, you're taught this is the way. You know what I mean? You know no better. And honestly, I can't really say that's a wrong thing. The reason why is because you don't have any type of guidance.
You got to be put in a box.
You got to be before you get right.
You can't just be.
Hey,
the world is your oyster. No.
Right.
Get in this box until
you
and once you get too big for this box, I'll get you a bigger box.
And
until
then
you mature to the point where it's like, get the fuck out the box and go live your life.
And that's what I feel like a lot of it is geared for. A lot of the
I just had that same conversation
because when you start looking at politicians and everything, and I hate to say it, but the Republican Party, they keep pushing we're God, country, blah blah blah, but yet you're looking at their actions and they don't really follow what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing what you see with the church a lot of times. And I'm not saying all. I don't want to encompass all, but the point is, you find out through spiritual what's the word? Discernment. Okay, what exactly is right and what you feel like is wrong. You know what I mean?
Church is like spiritual CrossFit, man.
It is.
It's like spiritual CrossFit.
But it sets the norms, because if you read the back of your dollar bill, and it says, "In God we trust," and a lot of the principles that set up in this country are based off the King James Bible. You know what I mean? So in that and everything, we got our structure. But just because you have a structure, don't mean
on some fucked up shit.
Just because you have a structure,
so you gotta break that. You gotta break that foundation up. You gotta take all that bad shit out, and you gotta rebuild your foundation.
Like this, all cars share the same roads. If you don't have a dividing line in between it, then we're all running smack into each other.
Right.
So even though there's structure, there has to be something that divides.
Yeah, it's gotta be guidelines.
It has to be some type of guidelines, okay? And then you have to know, okay, now it's time for me to get off this road. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean.
But see, most folks can't even think that far, man. Well, not most folks, but a lot of folks, the folks that they want to, can't even think that far, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. White Russian, Mugen.
Yeah.
No, Cloud Kick. White Russian. James is doing this, getting us drunk.
Yes.
I don't support this.
So,
God isn't that human telling you about God. Got to experience God for self. Then you can tell what God is and what isn't.
Agreed.
All right, that's Jay Wellington.
Agreed. That's
powerful.
It's a powerful statement, man.
Yeah.
But
hey, man, Jay, we need to start hanging again, bro.
Yeah, bro.
like I'm sitting there, like, man, I miss hanging with this motherfucker. Yeah, man, we gotta get you on the show one day,
it's
man.
It's not almond milk, man. You know what? We should have used almond milk. It's not almond milk.
I do have almond
milk. Nah, bro. Right. Not this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be farting and shit tonight.
Yeah. So. Again, I think this is a deep topic. I think that
it takes a village to raise a child, but what do you do if the village is sick? I forgot whose line that was.
So yeah, I say it on the Substantial Burns project, but I learned it from a brother named Mustafa, who was training me, one of my educational trainers. Because, you know, like, people love to say that, like, it takes a village to raise a child. But, yo, some villages...
That shit is so cliche now,
yeah,
man. It's unfortunate, but that shit is so fucking
But, yeah, I mean, it absolutely takes... Yeah, it is.
It's true, but nobody abides by it anymore. It's just something to say. It takes a village to raise a child, but ain't nobody...
Hold on. People do, but they don't realize... Hold on.
Yeah, true.
Now, this is what I'm saying. People contribute to that concept whether they know it or not, because more is seen than heard, right? So like, you are absolutely helping to raise somebody's child by doing certain negative bullshit in their present, because listen, you're not hearing what
I'm hearing you.
Now,
but
what I'm saying
the wrong vessel, then all you're doing is you're just pouring more bullshit inside of a bullshit.
So and don't get it twisted, that is a form of raising a child as well. Because some people raise their child with negative shit, bullshit, and feed them all of this stuff.
That's not raising.
Dude, that is absolute.
No, that raising is an
I got you.
Thing.
But in a person's household who doesn't necessarily see what they're doing as being negative, in their eyes, they're doing just that.
Yeah, you
someone who's
that's like if I'm smoking crack and I think I'm seeing the Matrix. Just because I think I'm seeing the Matrix, don't mean I'm seing the Matrix. Dog. They're not raising kids. They're killing them.
I got you. What I'm saying is, you don't agree with how they're raising their kid, and there may absolutely be something. Bless you. There may absolutely be something wrong with how they're raising their kid, but in their eyes, they are raising their child.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. You're caught on your perspective. But what I'm trying to tell you is, the reason why they do not budge from how they're doing shit is because to them, this is what works and this is how we do it over here. And they think something's wrong with your ass. And while you try to come over here and tell me how to raise my kid.
But I always go back, and I told my son this. I said, you can't teach what you don't know. I can't teach you about how to sign FAFSA forms or how to go through the college process if I've never been through.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't teach you about higher education and how to start a business if I've never been a part of that or never did the research myself. Now, if I'm somebody out here that's out drinking and partying, I can teach you that because that's what I know. If I'm out somebody, if I'm somebody that's out here, you know what I mean? If I'm military based, I can teach you about the military because that's all I know. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are growing up, a lot of kids are growing up in situations where they don't have somebody to teach them how to be greater than what their parents are. You know what I mean? And that's where they fall short a lot of times in society. That's just my personal thing.
Jay Wellington says villages are more transient now. Sports teams for kids, clubs. It's not really as much of a physical village or those that live around you. And then what else we got? One is only a true healer once they have healed themselves. If the village is sick, then they must become their own healers before they can heal another. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
But I do agree that it takes a village to raise any kid these days or whatever.
Yeah, that's always going to be the thing.
Hey, right. But you gotta. I think you also got to teach your child what you're seeing is not perfection, and that's on all levels.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I don't. If Ren sees me cursing one day, you know what I mean? I don't want her to think that, oh, that's okay because I see Barber J do it. No, you know what I mean?
Right.
Forgive me for my imperfections and everything, but this isn't the way. You know what I mean? So along with the positive things everybody has a flip coin. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Everybody has, and that's why I love one of my favorite DC characters was Two-Face and everything, because everything for him was based off chance, but he had a good and he had a bad, you know what I mean? And I think that most people are built that way, and if they come to the understanding that this is who they are, they're more capable to deal with themselves before they deal with anybody else. Everything.
You know what's dope about Two-Face though? Because even though he did that, which made it seem like balance, he still was a person that, like, if he wanted to do something, negative, and the coin didn't land the way he wanted to land, he'd find a way to make it seem like
that's the deepest.
And so even when you kind of want life to kind of go in a certain direction, and you say, well, you know, if it happens like this, then that, and then if it doesn't, then it's not meant to be. So, like, the perfect example, right, is where, like, he flips the coin or whatever. He's like, heads you live, tails you die, right? And so he does it, and then he can't kill the dude because it landed on the joint. But then there's a driver there, and it's like, and then he flips it again. It's like, he wasn't as lucky. Bow, and then the motherfucker gets hurt in the car crash. You know what I mean? Like, his way of still trying to, he's still based it on chance, but he was not happy with the initial answer. So he was like, let me make my own luck until.
See, he's a perfect example, and I'm going to say this real quick, and then we're going to move on. I use that same analogy when it comes to advice. When people come to you for advice, they're not coming to get what your opinion is of it. They're not really coming to get your take on it. They want you to confirm what it is they already want to do with it. That's what people want. They'll go to 9 people. They'll go to 10 people. 9 of them will tell you go left. They're waiting for that one person to tell you go right. You should go right. I'm going right. Yeah. Look, that's really what people want.
That's a great transition point. So check this out. I'm gonna stop this music here because one of the things that I put in the title was new music, and it's perfect because the next thing is the outro music. But I said that I was gonna play something. So I'm gonna
play that Kanye album. Run it the whole album.
I did not.
Yeah, I've listened to it twice.
Real quick.
Here we go. Here we go.
No.
Here we go.
So
we made it the whole show.
It should be called Holy Shit.
Really?
It's called, what is it called?
Jesus is
It should be called Holy Shit.
Jesus is King, but he ain't had nothing to do with this shit.
Jesus ain't had nothing, dog. This nigga, so somebody had a great point about this album. So we were talking about it in the shop, and me and somebody else was like, he's trying to, I don't know if this is the right word for, but pandering. Is it pandering to the black, trying to get the black crowd back? No, wait.
Go ahead.
Because when he flipped it, I was like, oh shit. So, he's MAGA hat Kanye now.
Uh-huh.
Is this bitch ass nigga trying to bring the soulful, like, is he trying to bring church to the MAGA community?
Yes.
Is that what he's doing? Is it not that? Is it kind of both? Is he saying, maybe I can get some of my black folks back by doing the church thing, and then I can get some of these white people that have never heard church like this before, because they don't even like black people, and they'll think this is the greatest shit ever, and that album is fucking garbage. It is fucking garbage. Oh my god, it's bad, man.
He been hitting me like for a couple days, like, yo, have you heard it? You gotta listen to it so we can talk about it on the show. And I've just been over this dude for a while.
It is so sad.
And not for nothing, man. Like somebody called him Creflo Kanye.
Oh yes, hell yeah, Jay. So that is exact, dog. That's the name we were talking about when we were talking about this album. Like I said, I absolutely said, like, yo, this sounds like a Creflo Dollar album, because it sounds like the nigga is selling Jesus. The lines are so ABC. They're so simplified. The only draw to the music is the choir singing. This nigga uses some of the most bullshit sounds. It's one song where this nigga, it's like this ping, ping. It's like this really loud, annoying sound all through the song. It is the worst. It's not art. Yeah. It's a marketing tool, man, and it's not going to work.
I felt that when he came to Howard University, and he had tried that bullshit. With
trying to get it, man.
Yeah, and he's too far.
He's gone. The only reason I listened to it is so I could say this. So I could come up with, it's not called Jesus is Lord. It's called, you see what I did there? Holy shit. I worked on that. That's why I listened to the album.
I couldn't run to it.
I
just wanted y'all to listen to it so we could fuck it over.
Right.
That's all I wanted. So I could hear some of the clever cash and substantial shit.
I got nothing. That nigga, I treat that dude like I treat that dude the way I treat Trump these days or whatever. And it's just like, I just, if I ain't gotta talk about it, like, I'm just not. You know what I mean? I just feel like that nigga's not worthy of my attention, man. Like, at this point, And it's not that he hasn't.
I think Kanye died with his mother.
Yes,
damn,
absolutely.
I mean, he did have one more great project after that, but
but
that, and I think I felt like
Dark Beautiful.
But you could see the climax. You could hear the climax in the album, like where he hit it, and it was like, you could hear it. You could hear the overproduction. You could hear it happen. It was like, but you started overproducing right at the right time. Like you hit the record button and hit stop at the perfect time.
Yeah. I think he died with his mom.
He's gone. He's gone. But let's talk about some other stuff. Thank you, Ice, because I love you too, man.
Hey, so while Sherm was hitting me up, and I was just like, I'm good, and I was just like, man, I'm trying to finish this song for Patreon, so I could go ahead and put this joint up.
You want to play for both?
Speaking of Patreon.
No. You gotta let this happen.
No. I just want to say we got one more.
Oh yeah, Johnny said we got another subscriber.
Yeah, shout out to my man Kevin Burkhardt. He signed up for Patreon last night. That's a homie out in Seattle. So look, it's the end of the month. The song for Patreon's due. I had to finish something. I wanted to make sure that I didn't just pull another track that I hadn't released before, and I wanted to do something new. So this is something that, if all goes well, will make my next album. That's called Adulting.
This is going on the next album, brother. When you hear
this, okay. So this is the rough draft that I'm about to play for you. The beat was made Friday. The lyrics were written. Some of them were written right before, some after. And we ain't gonna do it.
Okay, I saw your face. We'll address that later, man.
All right, don't do it, Sherm.
Oh my god.
All right, so look. So I'm gonna play this track. We'll talk about it for a little bit, and then we got rap. But if you have not signed up for Patreon, patreon.com/substantial. We are so close to hitting 50. We need your help. It's literally $1 a month, and you can get this song.
And as soon as you sign up, you get all nudes of Substantial.
Oh, what?
Niggas about to cancel all their accounts.
Oh shit! I never wanted that.
All lies.
What?
So I'm about to. Play this.
Oh man!
All right, so look,
it's so hot in here tonight.
It is, man. It's because
it's alcohol, and it was damn near 80 today, and we got this damn window closed.
Yeah, I put on the AC.
Oh,
that's why
it's
I
not
can't.
doing
Nothing. That shit like.
Right.
They blowing on his tip. Alright, so here's the new track. The track is called Say Less. Alright, here we go. Hopefully it's louder. That's pretty good. Maybe a little louder.
If we needed to. Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, hold up. Gotta start again. I got it. Turn it up.
Go a little bit more?
Yeah,
alright. Now, the mic is close to the speaker, so it might be distorted for them, but we'll see.
Yeah, let us know if it sounds terrible.
Hey, J-Soul, don't you cut off.
Cut off. Meow.
Yeah, get Jay Willis to say yeah. Alright, here we go. Make sure that's... there we go. Alright, that's why no vocals. Alright, this is a rough draft. Certain vocals are missing. The hook is not complete. No more disclaimer. This will be on Patreon next few days.
Born by the talk, actually completed and trust that. Hit them with just facts, true ugly as muskrats. Been in the lab, just looking up tracks. Tight lip for a nice bit. This ain't a comeback, it's on back. I'm shy Tony with beats and flows instead of knees and bows. But there's no need to boast. Don't need my ego stroke. My track record's my interpreter. Good with supporters, I'm thirsty for the versions. Now mistake, I'ma play my role like Ursula. No impact without an act. Get the work and run, turn it up. The moment I said less, my scream is right. Earned enough, but I can't exit till my team is right. Was a boss, they ain't paying nobody. Was a gangster, but they ain't nobody. Everybody say they know the code, but they straight snitching. Everybody know a lot, but they actually say different. Every post don't need a comment.
Watch that distorted.
Every click don't need a like. Everyone don't need an audience. And every open mouth don't need a mic. Say less. Ain't what you know is what you do. So let the work you put in be the proof. Say less. You ain't gotta tell me that you're real. In time everything will be repaired. Say less. Yeah. I ain't gotta tell you. You follow my track, but it's a race to the top. Many out for a lift. Wanna tell you about their drive, I hope you offer a tip. They turn around and act like you ain't come along for the trip. But you were there for they were talking they shit. It's your boat, we just floating with no wind in they sails. No motion, illusionist. Pin it, tell her I can pin it better. Broke as fuck at the ball, damn you slipping Cinderella. Just the image seller, stock photos, nigga. Not thorough, claim to be the realest ever. Who can box for you? Not a soul. Your own people hardly believe you. We see more than we hear, and you saying more than you need to. Everyone's a boss, they ain't paying nobody. Everyone's a gangster, but they ain't no Gotti. Everybody say they know the code, but they straight snitching. Everybody know a lot, but they actually say different. Every post will need a comment. Every click will need a like. Everyone will need an audience. And every open mouth will need a mic. Say less. Ain't what you know is what you do. So let the work you put in be the proof. Say less.
You on his shadow box.
Time everything will be repaired. Say less. I'm just trying to give them some game. No matter if I yell it, they never hear what I'm saying. Been a stranger roll up in the game and tell them the same. Man, they totally forget that I put that shit in their brain. They too close to the picture, they can't even see the frame. How I brought it together, so I bother to explain. Put the plan into action, now my passion turned to gains. And now they circling back so I can help them do the same. Say no more. Say less. I got you. I got you, bro. It's all love. Say less. Ain't what you know is what you do. So let the work you put in be the proof. Say less. You ain't gotta tell me that you're real. In time everything will be repaired. Say less.
Whew! That was far. That shit far. That was goddamn far.
Yeah, that was
Hey, thank y'all, man.
Yeah, 3 verses, Jay. That was the part I loved about it. When he was playing it for me earlier, and I saw more space after the hook part, I'm like, wait, it's going to be a 3rd verse.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you don't typically get 3 verses from solo artists a lot.
Yeah, well, a lot more people are starting to shorten songs and stuff like that. Like the initial version of the song was over a different beat, the beat I played.
Yeah.
And so the verses were only 12-bar verses, and it was just 2 verses and it was done. But then so going back to what we were saying, where like sometimes where like people don't hear what they want to hear and shit, they're actively looking for people to kind of tell them what they want to hear. Mm-hmm. So I played the first beat and spit the lyrics for my wife, and my wife was just like, yeah, nah. Like, yo, she was just, and I let Sherm hear the other beat, and he was like, oh no, the beat's fire. But like, it just, compared to this joint, it ain't the, right. So, but she was just like, she one of my toughest critics, and she was just like, nah, I just feel like the beat's cool. It ain't, but yeah, that's just, she's like, I ain't saying don't do the song. I'm just saying it ain't. I was like, man, she started trying to backpedal. I'm in this motherfucker like, that's good. I'm in my chair like,
don't know. They don't know her, so anytime you send me a story, I'm sure she was smiling.
I'm sure she was smiling when she was saying it too.
No, she sits right here.
Yeah, it's like,
and when it's done, I'm like, so what you think? And before she speaks, as soon as I see the head tilt,
the baby needs changing.
It's like, oh, please don't.
It's almost like disappointment, dog.
Yeah,
and there's nothing worse
like you
than
play that shit for your mom. Like you just played it for your mom. Yeah, son, I think you should stick with the drawing.
So everyone who liked what you heard and really feel like it's like I appreciate y'all so much for the comments. But yo, thank my wife. If my wife pop up in this joint or you see her online, be like, yo, hey, thank you for making Stan redo that shit. Cause yo, she basically put the fire up under me, then took the kids and went to her mother crib and was like, go ahead, do your thing. It was almost like, yeah, you need to probably do some more work. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what she said, but that's what the shit felt like. Well, it's all good if you gotta do it again, because I'm gonna take the kids tomorrow to my mom's.
Hey,
so
she hit you with, now Stan, is this your best job?
Yeah, man. So
you can do better.
Right. So thank y'all, man. I'm glad y'all feeling the joint. I'm really. It's not even where I hear it in my head yet. And and so
J Soul,
you singing in my studio. I come in like you a little flat.
You a little flat.
Oh man. Yeah, that's too funny. Hey, man. So thank y'all again. For any of you who have not signed up for Patreon,
like say more. That's from true.
Yeah, please. Hey, man, we trying to end the show. Look, if you have not signed up for Patreon.com, please do so. Patreon.com/substantial. Sign up, support Substantial Sundays. We are creeping our way to 50, trying to go ahead and get more people on board so we can go ahead and start.
Remember,
our
get
podcast.
Those nudes.
And
get those.
Shut up, sir.
We not doing that.
I'm gonna get off from like 5 people.
Yeah, I hope everybody that's watching knows that I am absolutely joking. I am absolutely joking.
Hey, so let me hit y'all with this link real quick, and then we're gonna get this outro music because we are definitely over time, but it's a lot of fun tonight,
like 2
man.
hours. Hey, I want to say I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in every week.
Right, for real.
We try to cover a lot, whether it's social, whether it's national news, international news, sports.
In an hour.
It's a broad perspective, and y'all looking at 3 brothers that really just speak from their heart, speak from their mind. You know what I mean?
Because I don't know shit.
just the fact that you keep coming back, it's a good thing. So we appreciate each and every one.
Real shit.
Yeah, for real, man.
My sentiments exactly.
Yeah, man. Thank y'all so much.
He go to shoulders.
Right. Yeah, man. But so listen, I just wanted to give y'all a heads up, man, that
next week.
Next week, next week I'll be in Detroit. I'm performing at UMACon, and so
second time's in the two says something about QT and
part
Spill
2.
Milk.
I don't know if there's gonna be a Spill Milk part 2. Same thing about QT.
Yeah, neither one of those. Those are one-offs.
Yeah, and like, yo, truthfully, man, I got some great concepts for the next album. We already got the title for the next album, and I got over half the concept for the songs already. I've already talked to some of the people who I want to feature on it. I was having a conversation with Joe D.
And like the song says, ain't no use crying over spilled milk.
Yeah,
the song's gone, man. We got new Substantial.
Yeah, man.
Johnny, always love you too, bro.
Yeah, man, love y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and supporting what we're doing. Definitely more great things. So next week I'm probably gonna go live from UMACon. It's not gonna be this, obviously.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? My dudes
there.
will be with me.
I will be at the motherfucking Big Crit Rhapsody and Damani
Damani
Terror show. Yep. And the night before that, I've never done this before. I'm doing 2 nights, 2 shows.
Hey.
Got the Jadena show on Friday, and then the Crit show on Saturday.
I bet you Damani impressed you.
He already has.
Nah, but I bet you he impressed
Oh,
you.
with his live show?
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of skeptical on.
Yeah,
Like,
I bet you. If he
I
don't
hope
come
so.
back and tell me.
oh no, we're gonna talk. Definitely, we're gonna be talking about it on the show. Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
So, hey, and do me a favor, because the show that I'm doing, out in Detroit, the homie Mega Ran will be there, so will Shingo too, and K Murdoch will be there. A lot of folks who y'all know and fuck with will be there. So do me a favor, hit them up on social media. Ask them if they still gonna be around on Sunday, and maybe I can see if they'll pop up and hang with me for a few. That would be really cool.
Yeah, push them to do that.
So I can't make no promises, but we'll see what happens.
That'd be dope.
But yo, we gotta be out. You know what I mean? It's always great.
Y'all go wash some dishes or wash some clothes. I know y'all got something that you should have been doing.
Or your ass. You
Yeah,
could just
I
wash
hope you don't need to wash your ass.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be toxic.
Right. Right. You know what I mean? But yo, we gotta go, man. We'll see y'all, y'all. All right, peace.